On May 6, 2025, the world watched with bated breath as India launched Operation Sindoor, a series of airstrikes targeting alleged terrorist camps located within Pakistan. This operation, lasting a mere 25 minutes, sent shockwaves across the Indian subcontinent and beyond. India claims the strikes were not an act of aggression, but a necessary response to a heinous terrorist attack on its soil. The question remains, was this a measured response or a dangerous escalation in an already volatile region? The early hours of May 6th saw Indian Air Force jets crossing the line of control, the de facto border dividing Indian-administered Kashmir from Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Their objective 9 alleged terrorist infrastructure sites. These sites, according to Indian intelligence, were being used to train and harbor militants responsible for a spate of recent attacks in Indian-administered Kashmir. India maintains that the operation was meticulously planned to minimize civilian casualties and damage, focusing solely on dismantling the terrorist infrastructure. However, Pakistan painted a different picture, one of unprovoked aggression and civilian suffering. They reported 26 civilian deaths and 46 injuries, including casualties at 2 mosques and among teenagers. Videos emerged showing buildings engulfed in flames, plunged into darkness by power outages, and injured civilians being rushed to hospitals. The stark contrast between the two narratives underscores the deep mistrust and animosity that has plagued India-Pakistan relations for decades. The international community reacted with a mixture of concern and calls for restraint. The United Nations urged both sides to de-escalate the situation and engage in dialogue. World leaders echoed these sentiments, emphasizing the need for a peaceful resolution. The specter of a full-blown conflict between two nuclear-armed neighbors was a chilling prospect, prompting global anxieties. To understand the gravity of Operation Sindoor, one must delve into the historical quagmire that is Kashmir. This mountainous region, renowned for its breathtaking beauty, has been a bone of contention between India and Pakistan since their independence in 1947. Both countries claimed Kashmir in its entirety, resulting in 3 wars and countless skirmishes over the decades. The line of control, established after the 1971 war, divides Kashmir into 2 parts, each administered by India and Pakistan respectively. However, this division has done little to quell the unrest. Both countries have accused each other of supporting separatist movements and terrorist groups operating within the region. This cycle of violence has claimed thousands of lives, leaving a trail of devastation and mistrust. Adding fuel to the fire is the presence of numerous militant groups operating in the region. These groups, often with differing ideologies and allegiances, exploit the Kashmir conflict to further their own agendas. They target civilians and security forces alike, perpetuating a climate of fear and instability. The complex web of actors and interests makes finding a lasting solution to the Kashmir issue an arduous task. The year 2019 marked a turning point in the Kashmir saga. India's government revoked Article 370 of its constitution, which had granted Jammu and Kashmir a degree of autonomy. This move, met with widespread protests in the region and condemnation from Pakistan, further strained relations between the two countries. The revocation of Article 370 signaled a hardening of India's stance on Kashmir, raising concerns about a more assertive approach to the dispute. Looming large over the recent escalation is the figure of Masood Azhar, the leader of Jaish-e-Mohammed, a Pakistan-based terrorist organization. Azhar, designated a global terrorist by the United Nations, has a long history of orchestrating attacks in India, including the 2001 Indian Parliament attack and the 2016 Pathankot airbase attack. India has long accused Pakistan of harboring and supporting Azhar and his organization, a charge Pakistan vehemently denies. The GEM, known for its radical ideology and brutal tactics, has been linked to numerous terrorist attacks in India, particularly in the Kashmir region. The group's stated goal is the annexation of Kashmir to Pakistan, a cause it pursues through violence and terror. India's frustration with Pakistan's perceived inaction against Azhar and the GEM has been a major point of contention between the two countries. The February 2019 Pulwama attack, in which a GEM suicide bomber rammed an explosive-laden vehicle into a convoy of Indian security forces, killing 40 personnel, brought India-Pakistan relations to a boiling point. India blamed Pakistan for providing support to the GEM and launched airstrikes against alleged terrorist camps in Balakot, Pakistan. Pakistan retaliated with airstrikes of its own, leading to a dangerous escalation that almost spiraled into a full-blown war. The Pulwama attack and its aftermath highlighted the volatile nature of the India-Pakistan relationship and the ever-present threat of terrorism emanating from Pakistan-based groups. Despite international pressure on Pakistan to crack down on terrorist organizations operating within its borders, India maintains that Pakistan has not taken sufficient action, further fueling tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The immediate trigger for Operation Sindoor was a horrific terrorist attack on April 22, 2025, in Indian-administered Kashmir. A group of heavily armed militants stormed a popular tourist destination, indiscriminately opening fire on civilians. The attack, which claimed the lives of 26 innocent people, mostly tourists, sent shockwaves across India and evoked widespread condemnation from the international community. Among the victims were families on holiday, young couples celebrating their honeymoon, and elderly pilgrims seeking solace in the serene landscapes of Kashmir. The attack, characterized by its brutality and cowardice, shattered the fragile peace that had been tenuously maintained in the region. The gruesome images of the aftermath, broadcast across news channels worldwide, served as a stark reminder of the human cost of the enduring conflict. Indian authorities swiftly launched an investigation into the attack, determined to bring the perpetrators to justice. Intelligence agencies meticulously pieced together evidence, analyzing intercepted communications, eyewitness accounts, and forensic data. Their findings pointed towards the involvement of Pakistan-based terrorist groups, with 2 of the 3 identified suspects confirmed to be Pakistani nationals. The April 22 attack was not an isolated incident, but part of a disturbing trend of escalating violence in the region. In the months leading up to the attack, there had been a surge in cross-border firings, infiltration attempts by militants, and targeted killings of civilians and security personnel. This escalation, coupled with the attack's brazen nature and the targeting of innocent civilians, pushed India to take decisive action.